I'm preparing a few embellishments for a layout I have in mind. I used the Changing Leaves die cuts, so I used this large one here that's connected to 3 leaves, and the hybrid embossing folder that goes along with the Changing Leaves. And if you're not familiar with this, it embosses and die cuts at the same time. So this goes, oh my goodness, if I can figure it out. This locks into place here. There you go. So it kind of locks into place. You add your paper down here, and then you run the whole thing through, and it cuts out these 3 leaves while embossing them, and it embosses all these other leaves. So then I went around and fussy cut those leaves out. So let me show you what I have here. As you can see, these are the ones that I fussy cut, and I did fussy cut the ones that were partially cut off too, because I can tuck those under. I just used white cardstock. This one was also fussy cut. The ones that it die cuts out are these larger ones. This kind of maple looking leaf. And then it does this one as well. So what I have in mind is using Nature's Sweetness DSP. So that gold foiling kind of look. So I grabbed out Stampin' Up's metallic enamel effects, and I'm using the gold because of that paper, that DSP. I just put a little bit on my silicone mat here, which is also Stampin' Up. Used one of my, what are these called, palette knives, and just scraped it along. And look at how it kind of gets into the veins and adds that sparkle. But then it also adds kind of a little glisten to the leaf surface itself as well. So I'm going to set this one aside to dry, and let me show you how I did that. So I'm just grabbing another one of the little leaves. I squirted some enamel effects onto my silicone mat here, and I'm just picking up a little bit on my knife. And then I'm just lightly scraping it across, and it just kind of goes into those grooves. And I'm not worried about it getting perfect and full coverage. I just want a little bit of sparkle and shine. Let's see if I can grab this without getting it all over my fingers. Not off to a good start. See how it got a little more in the center, but then around the edges it's still white? I'm okay with that. You can definitely get more coverage using other techniques or whatever you want to do, but I'm enjoying how this is looking and just keeping it imperfect, letting some of that white show. Okay, there's another one. Let's kind of clean up my mat a little bit, and we'll bring in that big one. I love how it accents that embossing just by adding a little bit of color. I like how that one looks, just on the veins. So each one's gonna look a little bit different. I did it again. I printed too many pictures. What I did was I printed my favorite pictures larger, and the ones that really told the story, and then all of the extra photos I printed smaller, so 3x4s, and I do have 2 more hiding under here. 2x2s, and these all print as one on my printer, and I just didn't cut them apart. So I already played around with my layout, and I'm thinking something like this so I can have a bigger title over here. I'm considering a flip flap here for my journaling, and that's kind of where my mind was starting. Because it is so busy, I think I'm going to start on some white Willow cardstock. And then I really want to bring in Nature's Sweetness DSP, and I want to bring in some of that gold foil, and we were obviously hiking by my pictures. So I want to bring in some of those leaves, and I'm not sure which papers for sure that I want to bring in, but I thought this writing one was pretty cool too. This was our anniversary, our wedding anniversary. And yeah, we just went and spent the day at this state park. So we took the van. It was our first van trip, but we didn't spend the night. We just spent all day there with the dogs. And our dogs are getting kind of old, so they can't hike as much as us. So we would take them for a hike, and then we'd put them back in the van. And then my husband and I went on like a 7-mile hike. So obviously my old dog that can barely walk wasn't able to go on that hike with us, but she still loved the little walks that we took her on. I did print all of my pictures on with a white border going around. So what I am picturing is having some of this paper peeking out behind, but I didn't want to waste all of the DSP paper behind my photos, so then I can kind of cut it down and go that route. So I love how that brings in that gold in that leaf there. This picture is hilarious. So while we were out on our hike, I took this picture, and we were walking around, and all of a sudden we come up to that kind of grassy again, and I go, I think we are making circles, because I already took a picture of that. Yep, sure enough, we were walking in circles. Maybe it wouldn't have been a whole 7-mile hike if we hadn't gotten lost, but it was funny, and it was a beautiful day, so we did not mind getting lost. In fact, I think I have a stamp set that says "Let's Get Lost," so I might have to bring that in. I'm just auditioning some papers here. I really like how this gold foil accents these leaves, and down here, I just think that is so pretty. But then I thought, well, what if we did something a little more muted behind them? So I brought this one over, but I think I like the gold foil. I'm dropping stuff. Yeah, and it's almost a little too busy. Let's try another gold foil. This one is white on white, so yeah, not liking that. We have this one with some gold foil. That's almost too busy too, and I don't like the white on white. I think I like this darker one. And our van it's kind of a army green, dark green, and I think this gray helps pull out some of those colors. So I am liking how that looks. So I might do this all the way across both pages, but I don't think I have enough paper. Let me see if I have another one of these. This is my last piece of this. So what I'm thinking is if I do this side first, and so it'll lay right about here maybe, and then all my pictures are right here, so I can gut that out, and I think that would give me enough room. Yes. So I'm going to measure out this side first so that I can use the inside of that to mat these. Does that make sense? Okay, so when these are lined up, it's about 1.5 inches here and about 1 inch here. So let's give ourselves, so I cut this 10.5 by 11. So all of my photos should fit on that. And then I'm going to gut it out. So let's just do 3/4 of an inch because I'm scared. Okay, so I'm going up 3/4 of an inch, and then I'm starting 3/4 of an inch in and going over, leaving 3/4 of an inch. So this is 11, so 10.25 would leave 3/4. Oh gosh, this is hard on camera, coming up with measurements and trying to think and record at the same time, and I can't even walk and talk at the same time. I shifted. Okay, let's hope this works now. I'm a little nervous. Okay, so this inside piece that we just gutted, I can use on the left-hand side. And then this one we're hoping fits right here. And my words are upside down, so we have to go this way. Okay, and I'm just going to shift these over. I don't want to forget my placement. So let's go like this and like this and like this. Otherwise, I will forget how I had those. So if we do a 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch, this is why I like my Versamat. Stampin' Up! Does have a clear mat, if you are interested, a clear glass surface that's similar to this. Oh, barely fits over here. I'm glad I did that 3/4 and not a 1/2. Okay. I think this is going to work. There's a flip flap there, so that does have to be the top layer of everything. And then, how did I have this? This lower. I like how that's coming together. So then on this side, we can just do, so we're going to have kind of that stair step, but I think that'll be okay. And we could add another frame or something along that. And then this one is going to go here. I decided not to try to make this look continued. This will just be smaller than this side. And it almost looks like, I don't know, like rings coming together, but it's squares. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. And then this one will go over here and maybe touching. I'm not quite sure yet, but it needs something behind that too. What would this look like? Is that too much gray? Ooh, that's pretty. And then I could just do a super fine border of something behind this one. I don't know if I'm loving that. What about charcoal? Here's a piece of charcoal, which this is close to my heart. This is Stampin' Up, but I just thought maybe that would bring in a different shade of gray. What about something like paprika or honey butter or something? Let me try that. Here's paprika. I don't dislike that, but it's definitely a wow factor, so we'll have to bring paprika over on this side for sure too. Let me try maybe like a mocha. Here's mocha. Ooh, I do like that one. And then here is Sundance. That doesn't do a whole lot for my picture, but I like what it brings in out of my pictures here. But this picture alone, it doesn't do much. What if I did a double matte, since this is kind of my focal photo. What if I did a double matte on this one? Okay. And then I brought some Sundance over maybe behind this picture, since it'll be in a flip flap, and then maybe over in some embellishments or something. So I think I'm going to bring in these two cardstocks, and I am liking how this is looking in the background, so I'm going to trim that down too. And then I do want to ink around my edges, and I'll probably do that in Mocha since I'm introducing Mocha. It is a gloomy day outside. It is actually a new day. So I got a phone call yesterday, had to step away from my craft room, and we're back the next day. As you can see, I've done a little bit to it. So I used Sundance and Mocha, and I double matted this 4x6. I have one 3x4 photo here. It's a little bit shy of 3x4. And then I did a 3x4 journaling spot. And my 4x6 is going to be in a flip flap right here. So I have two more 3x4s, and then I will do my journaling here. And that'll just go right like that. And then this is all adhered down. So as I had mentioned, this is a 4x6 and I left it in that collage that it prints in. So these are 4x4 and 2x2s. A little shy because they are printed with the white border, white frame. And then over here, I haven't adhered anything down yet, but this is what I'm thinking. And I double matted this one since it's in the center of my page. So that's on Mocha and Sundance, printed with the white. So triple matted if you include that white. And then same with this one, I did the Sundance and the Mocha. These two I left with just the white frame. This one I did just the Sundance frame, and then this one I did just the Mocha frame. I thought it helped balance it and bring some of the color over to this side. So I'll go ahead and get that adhered down, and then I think we can start embellishing, and I need to figure out my title too, which I kind of thought would go down here, so maybe I should raise this one up a little more so I have room for a title. I pulled out a few of my old stamp sets that are nature themed. A few. So this one, I was thinking adventure ahead, enjoy the view, maybe even bringing in this cute little chipmunk thing. This one, let's go, adventure awaits would work. I thought I had a stamp that said let's get lost, but I don't, so I might have to be creative with that. I have let's go on a road trip, and that one's actually pretty large. I could stamp that down here and have that be my title. I have our getaway, which again is fairly large, so that one could be down there. And it was just a short getaway, it wasn't a big road trip, so maybe our getaway makes a little more sense. This one, I thought the compass would be a great addition since we did get lost. So that one I might bring in too. This one, we are in the hills, as you can tell in this picture here. So then I thought hills are my thrills, or I'd hike that. Something along those lines might work good. These shoe prints might work good along my journaling, just to add a little detail to those white spaces. It was in the fall, so then I thought crisp air. I don't know that I want the warm hearts, but I could mask that off and just do crisp air somewhere on here. And then I brought in my Remember This Moment stamps. You have my heart, celebrate everything, life is a beautiful ride. I just thought these were very usable phrases, so I could kind of start off my journaling with life is a beautiful ride and then do my journaling under it. So between all of these, I should have enough options for embellishments. Plus, you saw me create these ahead of time, my using my metallic enamel effects in the gold, and they do shine, if you can see. And then, so I have a ton of those sitting here. And then I did cut these out of the changing leaves from my gold foil sheets. So I will be including those in my embellishment clusters too. And I thought of just sticking with the leaves, but I might, like that compass and whatnot, I might stick into the leaves too. So I think what I'm going to start with is create some embellishments. So what I know I want to use. So that compass, I think I'm going to get that stamped. And then I'm going to stamp out our getaway and see how that looks here. And then just kind of start playing with some embellishments and go from there. So I'm going to get a whole bunch of these made up and then I'll be right back. I've added some stamping. So I added this little compass here. I added some of those arrows. I got our getaway stamped and it came with a coordinating die cut. So I got that. I got our compass put together, and then what else did I do? Oh, over on this one, I got this stamped and I added some stamping down here. So this is, yes, one of the flip flaps for here. And then I'm going to have a second flip flap. So it's kind of going to be like a waterfall style there. So I still need to type out all my journaling, but I'll do that off camera. So I kind of wanted my title down here. It's not huge, which I don't mind because I want to show off this beautiful paper back here. So if I have this, I could always bring in some leaves. And I'm not sure where I want this yet. That's why I haven't adhered that. But if I create a cluster kind of behind my title, and it's okay to overlap onto that, my flip flap will go over it, and then add some of the gold foil. And then I'm picturing a cluster over here too, along with my compass. And then we need some of those gold leaves over there too. Okay. And I feel like this needs more, but I think I need a third point of interest. So I'm wondering if maybe up in this area we could do something. I have some of these half leaves. And then maybe do like a tag or something up there. So I'm thinking that'll be another to create that visual triangle. I got these two embellishments done. I might add a word sticker here, and I'm working on this one over here. I popped that up on 3D dimensionals, so I think I'm going to pop this one up as well. And then I'm just kind of figuring out where I want them, and I'm only putting adhesive down at the bottom, so it helps when I go to layer that I'm not fighting glue, but then also it gives it a little bit of dimension up at the top. Luckily, this photo doesn't have a whole lot that I can cover up. This is going to help hide that stem there. Okay, and then I like to just tuck these gold pieces where I need to fill in. And I think it helps like differentiate the layers. So if I kind of do one here, it'll help show that that's a layer. I need that to dry up a little bit though. Let's go ahead and rip these apart. Before I do that, I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of this. I'm just not going to peel off the paper yet so it's not sticky. So I can move it around, but at least I can see what it'll look like once it's popped up. And we'll have a string on there like that. I need this here to cover up that stem and that little, there's a little messy section right there, it looks like. So that's gonna cover that. Okay, we're getting there. I'm going to add that string right away. And I'm not sure if I want to tie it like I did that one or if I want to just tie a knot. Adding a little micro glue dot. So if I just peel the paper off of this first, the glue stays onto that sheet. And then I can just plop that on there. So now that should hold in place where it's at. And those do need to be trimmed down a little bit, but and then let's tuck some of these gold pieces in. Fray this one too to make it match. And I just used my poking tool. And then I start at the top so that it's not so much to go through and it doesn't shed as much, I think. Still sheds quite a bit. And then just kind of work your way through. I cut down a piece of white cardstock and I stamped "You Have My Heart." I inked it around the edges, I dovetailed it, and then I put some foam 3D dimensionals on the back, and that is just going to sit right here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then one last thing I'm wanting to do is bringing back in my metallic enamel effects. I'm just going to add little dots around. So typically I would use, you know, glitter gems in general, but since I already used this on the leaves, I thought it would be a good touch. I'm gonna do some on the leaves, some on the paper, and I'm just doing a little dot. Let's add some to each cluster. All right, I think I am going to call that good before I go crazy. That is easy to do. I'm going to let this dry, and then I can go ahead and type up my journaling while that's drying and get my flip flaps adhered, and I'll be back to show you the finished product. I'm loving the extra detail the enamel effects added to this layout. I still need to add my journaling in these 3 locations, but I do have it typed out. I just need to print it. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to spend with me. If you've made it this far into the video, leave me a comment down below. I love hearing from you all, and I do read every single comment, and I try to respond to all of them as well. This one we can go ahead and stick on. So I have it all the way down into that flip flap. You want to crease that, peel off the paper. And then I am just going to line it up with that photo. And press that down. You can even take a bone folder or a little scraper and make sure that's adhered tight. And then I will slice my page protector right there. This one, I will slice my page protector, and then I think I also want to adhere, I'm not sure how this one will work on here. I might be able to put it under the page protector and then just do a big enough slit that both of them can go through. I'll be the guinea pig for you guys. If it works, great. If not, don't do it this way. And then hopefully I can still get that one out to put my journaling in. Yep, and then I'll just pull this one out, put my journaling on there, and then put it in the page protector. I decided to pick up the camera and show you how I adhere these. I've shown it a few times on my channel, but for those of you that haven't seen those videos yet, I'll go ahead and show you. So I already did this one, and I was able to slide both of those page protector or flip flaps through my page protector. So this one's done. So I will show you how I did that. I already have, because I don't scrapbook, completely chronological. I know it's hard to believe. It looks like I do, but I already have this one, sneak peek of another video. So this one is going to go in here. So there's no slits yet or anything. We'll go ahead and slide this page into here. And I did make sure all of these were dry. Make sure yours are dry if you use those enamel effects. They really don't take too long to dry, but I mean, I kind of puddled them up a little bit, so it would obviously take a little bit longer than if it was smoothed out like my leaves. Those took no time. Okay, it's in my page protector. You want to make sure it's all the way down. And then my flip flap goes this direction. So my crease is up here. The opening of the flip flap is down here. So over here, I'm gonna have it go this direction. I'm taking my ruler, and I can see, you probably can't see in the video, but I can see that my page protector ends right, my flip flap ends right here. Okay, so my picture is clear over here. My photo mat is way over here, but my flip flap comes all the way over here. So I want to go just a hair beyond that. I want to give myself a little bit of room to slide that through. So I'm going to give myself just maybe just a fraction here. Okay, and then I'm going to run along my ruler just a fraction beyond that. So I have my ruler lined up pretty straight with that, with my flip flap, I can see. And I'm just going to do light pressure. I can always run back over it, but I don't want to cut through to my picture. If you're afraid that you're going to cut into your pictures, you can always slide cardboard or something in there. Be careful what you use because you could dull your X-Acto blade. But you can always slide something into your page protector or take your pages back out and somehow mark it, which I have done in the past. I have used a pencil and then gone back through and cut it, but I just find this easiest. So starting a little beyond my flip flap, slicing, and a little beyond my flip flap on the other side. Now you can stop there, and it's gone through, I can see. You can stop there and try sliding this through, but I do like to make a second pass, not exactly on that same line. So I'll go above that a little bit and do another pass. Then I can pull that little piece out that, you know, because I did 2 passes that weren't lined up. I know that wasn't all of it. There's some more in here somewhere. Okay, so that just makes it a little bit wider and gives my flip flap a little more room to move. So now, sometimes you have to pull your page pack out, and you can always double check it this way too. That's a nice clean cut. Sometimes you'll have to pull your page back out and then kind of slide it in, but this one's in a good location where it's easy to just bend, and then be careful, you don't want to continue slicing that. And there you go. Just make sure that's all the way back in. And there's our flip flap. Easy peasy. I like to do it on the inside of my page protector. I just feel like it flips better. I don't know. It just seems a little more protected to me. But I have done it on the outside of my page protector too. So I know people do it both ways, whatever you are most comfortable with, but this is how I attach the flip flaps. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that thumbs up button. It helps YouTube share it with more viewers. And thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Until next time, live a life worth scrapping. Bye, guys.